Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm here to give you my WWF Survivor Series 1987 review. Um, Normally, when pay-per-views come around and I haven't reviewed those pay-per-views yet, I usually like to go back and do the pay-per-view series review. And I did SummerSlam, not all. I only did, I think, like one, but I have a couple SummerSlams. I have some WrestleManias, Extreme Rules, all of those are there. So, yeah, I usually go back and review some of them. And I'm doing the same thing right now with Survivor Series. And I think the pay-per-view's like this Sunday, so I'm obviously not going to get through them all before this year's is over, but I'm going to try to get through them. But normally what happens with Survivor Series is I don't really want to do the series review, not because I don't like Survivor Series, but because normally that's when the WWE video games come out, and I usually end up wasting up all my time to play that game instead. I usually do the Let's Plays. You saw me do that this year, and I usually, by the time I think by the time I beat the game, Survivor Series is normally over, so I can't do the Survivor Series review. Well, series review. But there is some good news in this. I did finish playing the Let's Plays, I guess, kind of early. I did all of the Xbox 360 version of it anyways. And when the Xbox One comes out, I'll do some Let's Plays of that. And when the DLCs come out and that kind of stuff, I'll do some Let's Plays of that. So I found some time to sit down. It's raining outside, so I can't even go outside if I wanted to. But I found some time to sit down and watch the very first ever Survivor Series. Now, this is a very special kind of Survivor Series, because if this Survivor Series, I think it failed and was absolute shit. I don't even think Survivor Series would be around nowadays. And watching this Survivor Series made me feel like that Survivor Series really is a special kind of pay-per-view. And it's kind of a shame because the WWE treats Survivor Series like crap. That's out of the big four pay-per-views, that's the one that they don't really feel like is as important. I mean, they're giving that pay-per-view away for free. That's how important the Survivor Series is. If it was like TLC, I wouldn't care. But Survivor Series, that's one of your big four pay-per-views, and you're going to give that shit away for free? I don't think so. My Wi-Fi just went off, by the way, so I have to turn that off. So yeah, that's just like bad. But this Survivor Series was really awesome. It really made really worked for Survivor Series. So, Survivor Series, I heard, used to come on Thanksgiving Day, and this one was the case. This one came out on Thanksgiving Day. I guess what a better way to spend your Thanksgiving. I don't know if it came on like the normal pay-per-views nowadays come on like at 8 o'clock. I don't know if it came on around that time, but I'm not really sure about that. So I actually wouldn't mind spending my Thanksgiving nowadays watching a wrestling pay-per-view. It would be pretty sweet. So we get Gorilla Jesse the Body Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon on commentary. I actually like them on commentary together. They really fit well together. I like Jesse Body Ventura. He was like that heel commentator, and he always supported the heels. And Gorilla Monsoon was the face commentator. He always supported the baby faces, and I thought that was good stuff. It's kind of like nowadays. And they kind of go through what's going to happen with Survivor Series, how you're going to have these 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series matches, because this was the first time Survivor Series happened, so they had to explain what was going on. And they explain how you can get eliminated, how you can be pinned, you can submit, tap out. You can get counted out, you can get disqualified, or now if you get injured in the match, the referee can eliminate you. So that's kind of how it went down, and they said there's going to be a lot of these, which I thought was awesome. So Honky Tonk Man's team gets interviewed. He had his own team, and I'll go through who's in it when I get there. But he talked about how he's the greatest Intercontinental Champion, and that he has the greatest team ever, and he's going to use that to take down Macho Man Randy Savage and his girl Miss Elizabeth, because he had shoved her. Well, there was no Raw back then, but whatever he had shoved her on a TV show, whatever the TV show was called. So let me get that match. So it was Team Honky Tonk Man. And that team, Honky Tonk Man was the captain. And at the time, by the way, too, he was the Intercontinental Champion. He would call himself the greatest Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. And we got Ken Harley Race. So his team consisted of Ken Harley Race, which I actually thought he was a pretty good wrestler. Hercules, Outlaw Ron Bass, Dangerous Danny Davis. I remember Danny Davis. I don't know if this is Danny Davis did the gut check. He was on TNA for a little bit. I think I know who Danny Davis is. He actually started out as being a referee, and then we have the captain, Hacksaw Duggan, and they had Bobby the Brain Heenan and Jimmy Hart in their corner. Bobby the Brain Heenan, I think, was representing Ken Harley Race, and Jimmy Hart was managing the Honky Tonk Man. So then Macho Man Randy Savage's team got eliminated, and they're all pumped. They're ready to take out Jimmy Hart, Honky Tonk Man team, pretty much. And Macho Man Randy Savage's team, I called it Team Macho Man because I think that's probably what they called it. And his team consisted of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Jake the Snake Roberts, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and himself, Macho Man Randy Savage, as the captain. And he had Miss Elizabeth down there, and this was the traditional 5-on-5 elimination match. And they had to have two referees. They had two referees for this match. One was inside the ring and one was outside the ring. I wonder if this was because this was the first time they had done something like this, so they wanted to work out the kinks. So I think that was probably why they had two. I think the next year they didn't have two, but I could be wrong right there. This actually was a good start. This match was a good opener. It got me open. It got a lot of time. A lot of the matches on this show actually got between 20 to 30 minutes. It kicked off, the eliminations first was Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Ken Harley Race. They were feuding at the time. Hacksaw, this is what I've heard on the pay-per-view. Hacksaw Jim Duggan had stolen Ken Harley Race's crown. So then I think the week before Survivor Series or something, when Hacksaw Jim Duggan was having an interview, Ken Harley Race ambushed him with a 2x4 and took his crown back. And so they fought on the outside, and they brawled, and they got counted out, so they both got eliminated. And I thought that was good stuff. So then it was down to a 4-on-4 match. I think the next guy that got out, I'm trying to remember who was the next guy that got out.
Oh my god,
Oh, it was Outlaw Ron Bass. I actually need to look this up. Outlaw Ron Bass. He had gotten eliminated. After Brutus the Barber Beefcake hit a high knee on him, which was a nice touch. So then Brutus the Barber Beefcake got dominated for a while. So then what else happened? So then he started to make a little bit of a comeback, but it didn't work out for him. And then Honky Tonk Man eliminated him with the finisher. He caused the shake, rattle, and roll, which is the spinning neck breaker he would do. So it was down to I think it was down to 4-3, so now it was down to 3-on-3. So then Jake the Snake Roberts came in. He got dominated for a while. Then eventually he made a little comeback and hit a DDT on Danny Davis, who we heard actually was a referee before he became a wrestler. Now he was a wrestler, but he hit a DDT on Danny Davis, got him eliminated. Then afterwards, Hercules and Honky Tonk Man pretty much kicked Jake the Snake Roberts' ass for a while. So then he was getting dominated, and then he got the hot tag on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and ended up getting going off on Hercules, and then eventually Randy Savage went off the top rope and hit an elbow on Hercules and got him eliminated. So then it was down to a 3-on-1 situation with Macho Man Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and Jake the Snake Roberts versus the Honky Tonk Man. And he still had Jimmy Hart ringside. And I thought this was some good stuff. They pretty much kicked his ass. And then eventually Macho Man Randy Savage did it in a trauma drop that knocked Honky Tonk Man on the outside. And then afterwards he leaves. He gets himself counted out. Now normally I don't like it when the wrestlers do that, but it was a smart strat. Huh? No. No. So pretty much it was a smart strategy because Honky Tonk. It was a smart strategy because he was in a 3-on-1 situation. Why wouldn't he want to take a walk? I thought that was some good stuff. He took the walk. I thought that was good. Saved himself from getting injured too because he talked about how he could lose his Intercontinental Championship if that had happened. So yeah, I thought that was good stuff. So then we got the next. What's the next thing that happened? Andre the Giant's team gets interviewed because they're having a match later tonight, and they pretty much said they're gonna destroy Hulk Hogan's team. They're gonna annihilate them. That's pretty much what they put it as. So then we got Team Sherry, which consisted of the Glamour Girls. I actually don't even know who's in that tag team because it was a long time ago. The Glamour Girls consist of... Let me just look it up real quick. Leilana, Kaya, and Judy Mountain. I think I pronounced that right. And the other members of the team were Dawn Marie, which I think I've heard this person before. I don't know if it's the same Dawn Marie, but it's probably could be. Doesn't look the same though. Donna Chris Nilo. I think it's like Christian and then it has Elo at the end of it. And the captain, Sensational Sherry. And Jimmy Hart was ringside with them because he was the manager of the Glamour Girls, who were at the time the Women's Tag Team Championships. They actually had Women Tag Team Championships back then, which I thought was awesome. And Sensational Sherry was actually the they called it the Ladies Heavyweight Championship, but it was pretty much the Women's Championship. She was the Women's Champion at the time, and she went up against Team Moolah, which consisted. By the way, the captain was Sensational Sherry too. I forgot to mention that for the other team. Team Moolah though consisted of Velvet McIntyre, Rockin' Robin, which was odd because we hear that song Rockin' Robin, and I actually thought that was odd. And they also went up against the Jumpin' Boom Angels, which consisted of I don't even know who was in it. Well, I know who was in it, but it's Itsuki, Yamzaki, and Norio Tenito. It's they're Japanese girls, so I can't really pronounce their names. And I think the next person's the captain. Yep, and the captain, the Fabulous Moolah. And it was another traditional 5-on-5 elimination match, tag team match. And this actually was some good stuff. I didn't think it's going to be as good. Because nowadays we see, this even got a lot of time too. I didn't think this was going to get as much time. But nowadays, when we see the tag team matches with the Divas, it's normally like if you get like a drop kick, you're pretty much out. So it's kind of how that's kind of what I was expecting here. But no, they really went all out. So then let me just pull out my cheat sheet in case I get something wrong. But I believe Velvet McIntyre ended up hitting like a Hurricanrana roll up, or a head scissors roll up on Chris Nilo, whatever her name, Donna Chris Nilo, and she got out. So then Rockin' Robin eliminated Dom Marie with a crossbody, and eventually it was down to like 5-on-3. So it was down to just the champs, the Glamour Girls, or whatever they called them, and Sensational Sherry. And by the way, for the survivors for the other match, Randy Savage, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat were the sole survivors for the other tag team match. But let's get back to this one. And yeah, they pretty much dominated Rockin' Robin, and Sensational Sherry hits a vertical suplex to get her out. I thought that was good stuff. So then it was down to a 4-on-3, and then the Fabulous Moolah got double clotheslined by the Glamour Girl, and she got eliminated by one of them, and so then it was down to a 3-on-3, and they actually tore it up. They actually went on for a while together. And eventually, Velvet McIntyre hit the same move that hit the Hurricanrana roll up again. This time on Sensational Sherry, so she pinned the champion, which was good for her. It just was good stuff. And then eventually, she got eliminated. Velvet McIntyre got eliminated by one of those Glamour girl. One of the Glamour girls by an electric chair. So then it was actually down to the tag team. You just pull it up real quick. The tag team, the Jumpin' Bomb, and the Glamour Girls. And they actually tore it up together. Eventually, I believe one of them got... and they went at it like it was actually like a regular tag team match. And Leilani Kai got eliminated with a flying crossbody. Then eventually it was down to a 2-on-1. So then Judy Martin got eliminated with a flying sit-out clothesline. And that was the end of the match. And Jimmy Hart had gotten drop kicked by one of them, which was good. So I thought this was a good match. It was actually a great match. Great women's match. What I'm noticing too is when I watched this pay-per-view, I want to mention it seems like people say the wrestling was so great back then. Because it wasn't, and I don't think it was just because of the name. It felt like everybody had a purpose on the wrestling. These women, it all felt like they had a purpose. They had women tag teams that gave you a purpose. They had the women's title that people could fight over. They even had the Intercontinental Championship that everyone was fighting over, and Ken Holly race. So they had that going for them, and they even talked about how Macho Man Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and Jake the Snake Roberts were like the top contenders for the Intercontinental Championship. Because Macho Man Randy Savage, too, was feuding with Honky Tonk Man. And later on, I want to talk, because there's the next match. It's the Hart Foundation's team. They got interviewed, and the Hart Foundation consisted of Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Which we know Bret the Hitman Hart pretty much went on to be, later on we're going to find out where he became. And they got interviewed, and I think Barbara the Brain Heenan was there, I believe. He was there. There were so many managers, it's hard to remember each one, but I think he said that all these tag teams are going to destroy the tag team champions. And they're going to take out their team. That's pretty much what the gist of all these interviews were. Was that those teams are going to destroy them. This was like a big tag team match. We had Slick out there. And yeah, so I thought it was some good stuff. So then we got Team Hard Foundation's team. And it consisted of the Bolsheviks, which that tag team, this is going to be a lot of switching around, consisted of Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov. And before the match, Nikolai Volkov sang the national anthem for Russia. And then it was also, what else was in it? It was also, so the Bolsheviks, Demolition, which is Axe and Smash, the Dream Team, which is Greg the Hammer Valentine and Dino Bravo, the Islanders, which is Haiku, and I don't know the other tag, and it's Haiku and Tama. And we got, what else? Who else we get? Haiku and Tama. And the Hart Foundation, who were the captains. And we had Slick, Mr. Fuji, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Jimmy Valent, I think that's how you say his name, and Jimmy Hart of Inside. There was a lot of managers out there. I think Slick was representing the Islanders. Mr. Fuji was representing Demolition. Bobby the Brain Heenan was representing, no, Slick was representing Bolsheviks. Bobby the Brain Heenan was representing, I believe, I don't remember who Bobby the Brain Heenan was representing, but Jimmy Hart was representing the Hart Foundation. I think Bobby the Brain Heenan was representing the Islanders. I believe that's who he was representing, I'm not sure. And they went up against Team Strikeforce, who at the time were the tag team champions, and it consisted of Tito Santana and I know the other guy's name, Rick Martel, and they cut a little promo saying they're gonna beat the other team pretty much, and their teammates, they were the team captains, by the way, too. Team Strikeforce were the British Bulldogs, which is Davy Boy Smith, and the Dynamite Kid, and they had their dog out there. The Young Stallions, which consisted of the Young Stallions consisted of Paul Lama and Jim Powers. They actually were awesome in this match. And who also who else was in this team? It was also the Young Stallions, though Rogue Brothers, I think is how you say that, and that team consisted of Jackie's and Raymond Rogue. Yeah, and it also consisted, and who else was on that team? And it also consisted of the Killer Bees, which that team consisted of Jim Bruzzle and Brian Blair. I've heard of these tag teams before. I've heard of the Killer Bees before. Bret Hart mentioned them when he was doing the Shawn Michaels Bret Hart rivalry thing. I heard of the British Bulldogs. I heard of the what else have I heard of? I think I know about Nikolai Volkov's team, but I don't think the other guy was there. Bruzo, or whatever his name. I don't think. Boris was in there before. I think the Iron Sheik was in it. So I know some of these tag teams. I never heard of the Young Stallions though. And they actually look like an awesome tag team. The Dream Team. Me and my friend, anytime we conquered like a math problem or something, he used to like to call ourselves the Dream Team. So I thought of that. He probably won't even remember it, but if I asked him about it, but I remember it. And In this match, the difference was since this was like a big tag team fest, so they had all the tag teams. I think these are probably all the tag teams that they had, and if since if you got out, your partner was also out. So for example, if the Hart Foundation, for example, if Jim the Anvil Neidhart got pinned, Bret Hart would be out as well. So I thought that was a unique touch. This was an awesome tag team match. Mainly in the match though, the partners would tag in their partner, like Jim the Anvil Neidhart would only tag in Bret Hart, but at time most of the time. So I thought that was some unique stuff. And the eliminations, right off the bat, Tito Santana went off the ropes and hit a flying forearm on Boris Zukov. And the Bolsheviks were eliminated like that. I actually wasn't expecting that. So then Jax Roog missed a cross, so the body and Axe covered him, and he and the Rogue brothers got out. I think the Rogue brothers too had the first SummerSlam match with the Hart Foundation, so I think I've seen that tag team. And Smash was attacking somebody in the corner. I don't remember who it was. I think it was one of the Stallions. I think it was Paul. And he shoved the referee, so Demolition got eliminated, and then eventually it just kind of became a big kind of like tag team match. Everyone with the Young Stallions at points got their asses kicked, and they stayed in it. Like the Young Stallions, seems like a really likable tag team. They're like the underdogs, and eventually Tito Santana got like the hot tag, and he tried to cover Jim the Anvil Neidhart, who was in the ring at the time, and then Bret Hart broke up the pin and hit Tito Santana off the back of the head. So then that hurt him long enough. It did enough damage to him that Jim the Anvil Neidhart was able to cover him, which I thought was actually a unique way to get pinned, because you never see someone get pinned like that, but I thought it made sense. And then it was the Young Stallions kept getting dominated. They actually were like the underdogs to me. I actually really got behind them. And eventually, the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, got the hot tag, and he hit a power slam on, Haiku, and tried to cover him, but he kicked out. And then he hit a suplex, and then the Dynamite Kid went off the top rope and hit a headbutt. But it took more out of him. He really got hurt after this. And eventually, Haiku hit a super kick on him, and the British Bulldogs got eliminated. And then it was down to just the Hart Foundation and the Islanders versus the Killer Bees and the Young Stallions. And this really was interesting because what it made me get into this is whoever got out next would pretty much be screwed. They would be like stuck in a 2-on-8, 2-on-4 situation. So I actually got into it. I didn't know what was going to happen. Eventually, Bret Hart tried to slam, I believe, one of the Killer Bees, and the referee was distracted by the Team Strike Force's team. And actually, too, when the captain got out, too, I think they even talked about like how their plans could be, because Team Strike Force had already been eliminated. But I have a feeling they had like a backup plan if the tag team captain got eliminated. And what happened was one of them, I think Haiku, I'm just going to say him because I know him better, hit a drop kick, and Bret Hart was going to roll onto him, but then that Killer Bee rolled him, reversed the roll up, and the Hart Foundation got eliminated. It was the Islanders' fault, so I thought that was awesome. And then the Islanders, pretty much, since they were in the 4-on-2 situation, they pretty much still kicked ass. Like, they still went down fighting. And I thought that was awesome. Eventually, the Young Stallions, one of the Killer Bees, it was all a big distraction. Everyone was fighting with each other. And the Killer Bees, I think, one of them put on a mask, and they switched places pretty much like the Twin Magic you see, and did a sunset flip, roll up onto one of the Islanders. I think it was Haiku. And they was the sole survivors. It was the Killer Bees and the Young Stallions. And I forgot to mention that the Dream Team got eliminated by I believe Paul Rama did a diving sunset flip when he was trying to put the figure 4 leg lock on somebody. And I think it was Jim Powers, and I thought that was awesome. So this was a great match. It got a lot of time too. So then I think they showed some other stuff. They talked about what the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase does on Thanksgiving, because it was Thanksgiving that day. And I think they showed this instead because they were kind of taking like a halftime. They were taking like a break because there was so much action going on. I mean, that match was a long time too, so I don't really blame them. I really wouldn't complain if they did that nowadays. He pretty much says like he enjoys the little things in life. He talks about how he's thankful and for like the money that he has and what he's able to do with it. And he says that he's giving people opportunities to win his money, and it shows him having a little kid do push-ups, and he doesn't do it. So then he's like, "You don't get the money," because the kid talks about how he did like the best he could, and he's like, "Well, your best just wasn't good enough for the $1 Million Man." And then it showed him having a little kid dribble a basketball, and he has to dribble it like 15 times in a row without stopping. And at the end, when he's about to do it, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, this was at the time when Virgil was like his slave. But he put his foot out right when he was about to do it, and he talked about how now you have to learn the lesson where if you don't do the job right, you don't get paid. So I thought that was good stuff. I mean, then he talked about how he's had people literally get down on his hands and knees for money, and it showed this woman had to act like a dog so he can get his money, and she didn't really, I guess, wasn't convincing enough for him, so she didn't get the money, and somebody, after he had won a match, kissing his feet. I mean, it was like, and yeah. And then it showed that scene, which I've seen before on YouTube, when he went to a public pool, and he wanted to have the pool private to himself. And the guy was like, "No, this is we don't close." And then he hands him money, and he's like, "I think the chlorine's broken." So then he has all the kids come out saying that the chlorine's too high. And then it shows, well, it doesn't show it, but it shows the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, sitting there, and all the kids are like sad. And I thought that was awesome. And he talks about how he enjoys all the stuff he has. Talks about everything, just kind of shows how much of a great heel he was, because he actually really was a great heel. He had his $1 Million, he even made his own $1 Million championship and stuff like that. I thought that was awesome. I don't know if that had happened yet, though. He was such a great heel. Then the Honky Tonk Man comes out and gets interviewed and pretty much says everything I just said, that it was a smart move to leave out there. He pretty much challenges Hulk Hogan, saying that he's the real champion, and he said that he'll put his Intercontinental Championship on the line against Hulk Hogan's WWF Championship, which stands for World Wrestling Federation. And that was it. And then he talked trash about Macho Man Randy Savage, and I was actually expecting Randy Savage to come out and attack him, but it didn't happen. So then we got the main event. It was Team Andre, which consisted of Ravishing Rick Rude, King Kong Bundy, the Natural Butch Reed, which this is the first time I've seen this guy, One Man Gang, and Andre the Giant was the captain of this team, and they had Bobby the Brain Heenan, who was representing, I believe, Ravishing Rick Rude, and Andre the Giant, and Slick out there. And Slick was representing, I believe, the One Man Gang. And then we got Team Hogan, and they got interviewed saying how they're pumped for this match, and they're going to take down and conquer Andre the Giant's team. And it consisted of Bam Bam Bigelow, Ken Patera, Don Morocco, and his nickname was The Rock, which was actually really funny to me, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, which was pretty surprising. I wasn't expecting him to be on that team. But if anything, I thought he would be on the other team. And the captain, Hulk Hogan, and they had Oliver Humperdinck as a manager. He was representing Bam Bam Bigelow, and it was another 5-on-5 elimination tag team match. And I thought this was some good stuff. Good build-up. This was after WrestleMania 3. And after Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant had their big match, and Andre the Giant thinks he was screwed because when Hulk Hogan had lifted him up to go for the body slam the first time, and Andre the Giant fell, and Hulk Hogan fell, and Andre the Giant landed on him. He thought he had a 3 count right there. So then Andre the Giant didn't compete. He hadn't competed since WrestleMania 3. This was the first match he had, and he wanted to get at Hulk Hogan, and that's exactly what was going to happen. This was some good stuff. Hulk Hogan, the faces pretty much kick ass throughout the first round of the match. Andre the Giant eliminates the natural Butch Reed with a leg drop, which I really wasn't that surprised about. And then they had him and Andre the Giant, and we're going to have a face-off. But Hulk Hogan, after what he had done that, was celebrated. So then he had inadvertently tagged in Ken Patera, and Ken Patera got in the match, and he squared off with King Kong Bundy. I was actually kind of surprised. He actually took down King Kong Bundy, which I was like, what is this? But eventually it backfired. I believe he went to he did a double clothesline to himself, and you know how normally when they do the double clothesline in wrestling they both fall, but the one-man gang weighs so much he didn't fall. He actually stayed up, and he covered Ken Patera and got out. I was expecting him to get out too. He looks like he's good, but he's underrated. And he wasn't as big as the stars as the other guys were. So then what else happened next? So then it was down to, I believe, a 4-on-4. So then Paul Orndorff scored off with Ravish and Rick Rude, and eventually King Kong Bundy interfered in the match and attacked Paul Orndorff, and Ravish and Rick Rude was able to roll him up for the win. So then it's down to 4-on-3, and Hogan, Bigelow, and Morocco beat the crap out of Ravish and Rick Rude, and then he hits a scoop slam on Ravish and Rick Rude for the win. To eliminate Ravish and Rick Rude anyways. So then he's out. So then it's just down to now the big guys pretty much. One-man gang, Andre the Giant and King Kong Bundy, and they went up against Hulk Hogan, Don Morocco, and Bam Bam Bigelow. Don Morocco and Bam Bam Bigelow. So then eventually, one-man gang eliminates Don Morocco after Andre the Giant had interfered, and he eliminates him with a splash. So then it's down to 2-on-3, and then Andre's team beats the crap out of Bam Bam Bigelow for a while, and then Hulk Hogan gets the hot tag, and he finally goes face-to-face with Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant really wasn't in this match until this point anyways. And he starts going off on him. Then eventually, Bundy pulls him out, and Hogan fights with Bundy in one-man gang. He slams them both on the floor, and then Hulk Hogan gets counted out. And I was actually shocked. I was expecting Hogan's team to go over with Hulk Hogan having to face all 3 guys or something like that. But no, Hulk Hogan got eliminated. I wasn't expecting this. And they were told, and then Hogan wouldn't leave. So then they said if Hogan doesn't go back to the locker room, Hogan's team loses. So now it's down to Bam Bam Bigelow versus Andre the Giant, King Kong Bundy, and one-man gang. And this was awesome. Eventually, he goes off the top. He slingshots himself off the ropes and splashes onto King Kong Bundy, gets him out, And then he eliminates and then him and the one-man gang go at it, and the one-man gang tries to go off the top rope and hit a splash on him, and he misses, and one-man gang takes advantage and pins him. So then he eliminates two. It's down to Andre the Giant and the one-man gang, but eventually Andre the Giant wins with a butterfly suplex. And he's the sole survivor. It's Andre the Giant. And I thought that was good. I didn't really expect Bam Bam Bigelow to overcome the odds because Andre the Giant was there pretty much, and I didn't see Andre the Giant losing to Bam Bam Bigelow. But I still got into that. I still actually was rooting for... Well, I wasn't rooting for him, but I was like, this guy's pretty cool. And then afterwards, Hogan comes in with the title, hits Andre the Giant, and Andre the Giant escapes before he can do further damage, and they have a stare-off at the end, and afterwards they get interviewed, and he talks, Bobby the Brain Heenan praises him, talks about how he was the sole survivor, and Hulk Hogan couldn't take it, and he says, what's he say? Oh, he says, that if Hogan wants a match, we'll have to put it in writing. Now, Andre the Giant pretty much talks about how he said everything that I was going to say, but I'm the survivor, because I have the brains. So then afterwards, Hulk Hogan celebrated, and then it shows the credits of everything that just happened. And I thought that was good. This was a great first Survivor Series. Like, the matches weren't just great, it just really kind of showed how everything got to be. And like I said, it felt like everybody had a purpose in the show. Everybody was used properly. You had a women's match. It felt like everybody had a spot on the show. Everyone was doing good stuff. Match of the night for me was probably the tag team Survivor Series match. I don't really think I have a worse match of the night. If I had to pick one, it would probably... I enjoyed pretty much every match about the same, except tag team one. I really got into that. And it was some good stuff. And then it led up to and they were sending Macho Man Randy Savage off to WrestleMania 4, which we know where I was going, which I'll talk about in the future. And that was it. So if you guys, that's my Survivor Series from the first ever from 1987, I believe. Yep. And I thought it was some good stuff. So then, if you want to check out my other Survivor Series review, I believe I did the 2012 Survivor Series review, and I did a predictions video for it. If you want to check that out too, but it's probably pointless now. Just check out the review itself. On the CM Brothers channel, I did the Survivor Series 2013 review, and I went to that show, so I talked about my live experience there. And I did a couple of I think I did like a match that happened at Survivor Series. I did the Montreal Screwjob, between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. So I did that review. So if you want to check out the others, they're on the playlist on this channel. And I am gonna start. I don't know if I'm gonna review another one this week, but we'll see. Probably not today because I'm not gonna have the time. Because by the time I watch it, Raw will be on, and I have to watch Raw, and won't have time to review it today. I'll see about tomorrow, though. We'll see about tomorrow. But that's pretty much it, guys. And before I forget, I want you to subscribe to this channel. I've been forgetting to say that a lot lately because I just do. I forget things. But subscribe to this channel, Less Than Fortune 44, and add the Facebook page of Owen Pinch where you see all the videos. That's where all my videos go from this channel. And you can add me on Xbox Live, Less Than Fan 44. We can play WWE 2K15, and I can try to kick your ass. But if you kick my ass, I wouldn't be that shocked. Cause I'm good at it, but I'm not really. I don't play a lot of video. I play a lot of video games, but I don't play like crazy. Then what else? Snapchats, Birdman 105. Twitter, Owen the Birdman. That's about it. The Instagram, it's a default name, so it's down there. And the other YouTube channels, Owen the Talkinator, where I do my non-wrestling videos. It's just based on other stuff. CM Brothers, which is where me and Adam just talk about either wrestling or non-wrestling stuff. It varies. And we haven't made a video in 3 months because he has a kid that comes over that doesn't like to be on YouTube, so we can't make videos. And he comes over every week. So the live reactions, I haven't done a live reactions in like forever. I don't even remember what the password is. So yeah. And then what else? I mean, I might, but I think that's about it. And the Facebook's Owen Pittledinch, Owen Finch, and Adam Finch. Owen Pittledinch, Owen Finch, and Adam Finch. And that's about it, I think. There might be stuff I'm missing, but if I am, then it's my own fault. That's pretty much it, guys. I'll be back to do the Raw review later on tonight.